and those that join. Cool.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Wagyu Feeder Check webinar. My name is Lucy. I'm based up at Augathella in Queensland, and I've got the lovely Edwina joining me from down in Holbrook, New South Wales. I guess the biggest aim we wanted to get out of today is to give you a bit of an update of where we are at with the Wagyu herd, what we're working on, and a bit of a more specific feeder check update. So in general, we just clocked over 6 million animals on our black box system, which is a really exciting milestone for us. 900,000 of those is Wagyu, another big milestone hit. So exciting times for us and our involvement in the Wagyu industry. For those that are familiar with what we do, you will know that largely in the Wagyu space, we work in linking our carcass and feedlot feedback back to on-farm data. So that is identifying your high-performing marbling carcass weight, eye muscle area animals and linking that back to sire data, dam data, or any other on-farm data. A lot of what we do is all of what we do is all producer driven. So we've worked with producers for over 5 years now to find out where we can make the biggest difference in terms of data utilization in the industry. And in particular with Wagyu, that's landed with a lot of this linking back from feedlot feedback to on-farm data. And more recently, we have had the advancement of bringing in the Wagyu Feeder Check data, which has been really exciting for us to start getting into. So with the Wagyu Feeder Check, how this works is you will export the data out of the helical database export, which is that example down the bottom there. So it will basically give you the raw data from the Feeder Check program. And then what we then do is we import that into the black box software as per the top picture there. It's a simple import, so you export out of helical, import into black box as feeder check, Wagyu feeder check, and then drop that file in. Now, the main benefits of the feeder check import is that it allows you to combine it with all of your on-farm data and also to link that through to carcass and all of your feedlot feedback. So really giving you a whole collated approach to all of your dashboards and data, which is pretty exciting, we think. I'm going to pass it over to Edwina now, and she's going to run you through the dashboards and how this looks on our actual system.
Thanks, Luce, and welcome everyone. As Luce mentioned, we just wanted to take a chance today off the back of us attending Wagyu conference a few weeks ago and giving a little bit of an update on where we're at and how we're helping a lot of our Wagyu producers. And obviously with that recent introduction of Wagyu Feeder Check, it's making a real difference, again, being able to utilize that data and pull it all together from those different sources. So what I've pulled up here, most of you would be familiar with our growing management dashboard. So this is looking at animals that are still growing on farm, incorporating our two most recent charts, Wagyu Feeder Check Index and Wagyu Feeder Check Marble Rank. As Lucy also mentioned, a lot of our requests are producer driven, and our biggest requests around bringing that feeder check data in were mainly the index and the marble rank. So of those different traits, ADG, EMA, carcass weight, marble rank, and then the total index, these were the main two that people were making drafting decisions on. That's not to say we can't incorporate those other rank results in our custom reports. It's really based on what you're trying to select on in your herd. So this is showing your number of head, their average first weight, which is usually a weaning weight in most operations, their last weight, their time spent growing, and their ADG for that time. So again, you can make a selection on, say, your higher marbling rank animals or your lower marbling rank animals. With those, it's obviously showing you what sired those animals. So the same way you might want to select a particular sire and just see his progeny's marble rank results or his feeder check index results. So some of you may be drafting on this Wagyu feeder check index result when sending cattle steers to the feedlot. So what I have done is just pulled up an example of, let's say we select on that feeder check index result and you want to send that list back down to your crush side to draft on, there's a little red arrow button in the bottom left, a lot of you would be familiar with, which gives you the ability to export that into Excel. So that Excel, I've just pulled up one as an example. Luce, can you see that on my screen?
Sure can.
Perfect. So it gives you that EID, the VID, the birth pick, the sire, all of that raw data against that index or marbling rank result. So what our clients are doing is are making a selection on this dashboard and then exporting that into an Excel format, which they will then create that draft list to send back down to whatever crush side system they may be using. So another example that we wanted to jump in and show you was once that feedlot feedback data actually comes back, so you've got the real carcass result, the marbling data, EMA, things like that. Again, you have the option to export that into Excel, but you can also take those animals back. So I've selected these 41 animals that had both feeder check results and feedlot data, added them to my list over here. There's a little add button. We take that back to the growing performance dashboard. And a reminder, the growing performance is animals that have exited your property. So obviously for these, they've gone to the feedlot. So we can then filter. There's a little filter button here on your list builder, which a lot of you would also be familiar with. This allows you to view just those 41 animals results. So of them, 39 had growing data on farm, and you can view their feeder check index result here. So we've got feeder check index, marble rank, and then again your sires, breeds. So you might want to look at just your F1s or your purebreds, things like that. So that's then allowing you to look at that actual result and correlate that back to the feeder check result. And obviously all of you are aware that if you then submit that carcass data to the association, you're eligible for that $5 rebate. So that's just a bit of an update on how we're bringing that data into both your on-farm animals that are active as well as those animals that have exited when you've got that real result back and you can tie it together. So a big question that we have then been asked is how can people then sort of do a comparison, an easy comparison of predicted results versus actual. And that's where our custom reports have come in really handy. So again, it's just giving you a bit of an overall picture of the sire's performance, what his average index was versus average marble rank, and then tying in together that real data. And then people are obviously going that one step further and saying, okay, well, what did our cattle do that were grown on this property and fed at this feedlot, things like that. So incorporating those external impacts that may have an effect on those results and adding to that story. So just a reminder, some of you on this call would already be using these custom reports that are an add-on available. But what it allows you to do is, I mean, we have a number of different custom report options available, whether you're in a trading situation and looking at sale yard performance. For the Wagyu guys, it's most commonly sire performance or dam performance, or tying together different, data from year on year at different locations. So that's also a add-on feature that's available. Luce, have I missed anything? Do you want to jump in and add anything? We are aware that this is a really short, sharp update, but we obviously happy to answer any questions that any of you have as well.
Yeah, I think you've covered it perfectly well, Weens. I can't think of anything off the top of my head besides like how we've had feedback from others or using the product already, using that sort of ability to transfer between the predicted and actual, and if they found that process pretty easy, and we've had some pretty good feedback in that department, which has been good.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think we have any questions so far, but if anyone does have any, or feel free to shoot us an email or give us a call, or if you have any trouble uploading your results, just sing out. Otherwise, we will send this recording out for you to refer back to. But yeah, again, just sing out if you've got any questions or if you've got any feedback on how it could be more useful to use those results and link it back to actual actions on farm. Always happy to hear.
And thank you all for your time.